Hey, it's Keith, KG's Garage. Thanks for coming back. This video is going to be about me putting on this HHR SS, here we go, rear spoiler. It's an SS spoiler. I'm not trying to make a clone. I mean, I have the rear brakes, I have big brakes in the front, the panel. They only made 200 and something panel SS's. I mean, the difference is I'm not going to change the bumpers. I'm not trying to go for a clone. I just like the look of having the spoiler on there. So that's what I'm going to do. Just going to put the spoiler on there. They had the other spoilers. I actually had some where it's just like little pillars. It'd be like a little pillar that would come up here and it goes over to the other side. And I went to the junkyard and I bought 2 of them, and I was going to put one of those on, but then I found somebody was selling an SS one, so I like the SS better, so I'll put that one on. Okay, well, stick around for the end of the video and see what it looks like. Alright, what I have here is a HHR SS Spoiler. It's got a little cutout for the rear wiper sprayer, and the way it's supposed to mount, you hear something rattling around in here, right? Is with this little 10mm bolt that goes on here, a little hole, and then should be a hole in the back of the hatch. Or not even the hatch. Yeah, actually it is on the hatch. So there's a little hole on the hatch, the 2 holes where this would screw in and you would get it from underneath. This one, you can see here, it's stuck inside. So it fell in, and yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna be able to get it out, I don't think. So I don't want to really drill holes in my HHR there, so I'm going to take this one off too. I'm going to see if I can get this one, wherever it is, got stuck somewhere. See if I can get it. I'll stick like a magnet in there and pull it, and see if I can get it out. I'm just going to pull the whole thing out. And then I'm just going to use double-side tape. I'm going to pull all this stuff off and just double-side tape it onto the HHR. Obviously, it's the wrong color. So I bought some touch-up paint from, I think it's like touchup.com or something like that, touchuppaint.com. And I bought the paint that's supposed to match the HHR. So hopefully that matches. But what I need to do is, on this, I need to smooth it down a little bit, get the dirt off of it, sand it, rough it up, so the paint will stick to it. So I'm going to do that right now. Change of plans. I'm going to pull this out and see what it looks like mounted. Not mounted, but just see what it looks like on the HHR, on the truck. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try heating this up, which will heat the whole thing up here. And I'm just going to pull it. I have pliers somewhere. And once it's heated up, I'm going to pull it out with these pliers. I think that will work. Well, it's loose. I don't know if you can hear me. Well, it's loose like a tooth. I'm going to keep heating it up. Look at that. Came right out. Now we got to figure out how to get the other one out. We got a small one. Now let me get the... Alright, so it's down here. So it's down here somewhere. Oh, look at that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get I'm gonna put some vice grips on that. Okay. Let's see. Okay, well, I got them out. There's still something rattling around in here. I don't know what it is. Anyway, let's see what it looks like. I haven't been able to put it on here to see what it looks like before because I had those bolts on it. It's going to be something like that. I'll have to look at some pictures of HHR SS's to see exactly how this thing fits. And then I have to fix these here. When I pulled it out, it pulled this out a little bit, this plastic, so I got to grind that down. Grind the other one down, make it flat, because it's not a flat surface anymore. Well, the next step is to sand it, and then I will paint it. I've already sanded it. It was like that cherry red color, so I need to make it to this, I don't remember what the name of this paint is. Maroon something red. I can put it down in the description. But the way this spoiler mounts, there's supposed to be a stud sticking out here and a stud sticking on this side, and you can see all of the tape, right? And you double side tape it. I am just going to double side tape it because I don't want to drill holes in the hatch over here. And me trying to line up the holes, it probably wouldn't work out that well. So I'm just going to double side tape it. It's just for looks. It's not, what is it going to do, really? So I'm going to, you can see I'm putting fingerprints on it. I'm going to maybe scratch it up a little bit more, hit it with some cleaner, some alcohol or something to get all the fingerprints and, you know, anything else will dust off of it. I bought this kit from TouchUpDirect.com. They give you there's instructions in here on how to do this and whatever else. Anyway, they give you it comes with a thing of primer. Then you have your color. Oh wait, this is the sorry. And then you have your color. You can see they sprayed it on the top there. And then you have clear. So that's the steps right here. Prime it, color it, and then clear it. And inside the bag, gloves, okay. So we got the gloves, no problem. What is this? Wow, wax and grease remover. Maybe I'll just use this. And just wax and grease. It's probably alcohol swab. And then it tells you what to do. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So the other thing I'm going to do, I think I'm going to try to rip as much of, these off. Looks like they come right off. So this side's not going to get painted, but I want to try to scrape as much off as I can on this, because this is where I'm going to put the new double-side tape. So I want it to adhere pretty well. So let me try scraping some of this off, and clean this up. See this shiny? There's like some shiny spots. I need to hit those again so the primer and everything sticks nicely to it. Okay, there's a warning. This is gasket remover. I thought I would put it on these double-sided tape, sticky tape. And I sprayed some here and I sprayed some here. It removed the double-sided tape, but it also removed the paint. So do not put this gasket remover on paint. I'm probably somewhere on here. I probably warned you of that, but this is getting repainted. This is the bottom side anyway. I thought I would try it. So not a good idea to put that on there. Anyway, I got most of it off. This side here is giving me a little bit of a trouble. I don't know, maybe I'll just try sanding it down a little bit, make it rough, because it's not coming off. And the rest of it, I just sat here with a razor blade and just scraped that. You can see all the scrapes. Scraped at it to get it all off. And now, like I said, I'm going to wipe it down with some alcohol and prime it, paint it, clear it. All right. And if there was any big scratches or anything inside on it, I would go ahead and fill it with some glaze putty. Like if there was a big chunk taken out, you can fill it with some glaze putty or Bondo, and then do it. But this is in pretty decent shape. There's no nicks or dents or chips out of it. So all I gotta do is wipe it down. I'm gonna do that, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's primed. All right, so I Scotch-Brighted I sanded and Scotch-Brighted I just used this green Scotch-Brite. The spoiler. Now I'm gonna take some acetone here, put on a rag, and just wipe it down. Get all the dust off of it. Get any fingerprints. You can see like there's a little darker right here. Get any grease or anything that's on there. Get that off, and then I'm gonna prime it. And then I'm gonna go over the primer. I'll probably sand the primer down a little bit with maybe like some 220. See what it looks like. Maybe prime it again. Let's see how it looks. And then finally put the base coat and then clear it after that. So let me wipe it down and prime it. Alright, I put some rubber gloves on so I don't get any fingerprints on there. See how much dust and stuff came off there. Paint. Go with the primer. Just let that dry real quick. Putting a couple of light coats on it. Alright, that's the last coat. I just put a nice heavy coat on there. I'll go around again and get the edges, but that's going to do it. And I'll sand that down lightly so it's smooth, and then I can put the base coat on. Okay, I found some. I was going to do 220, but I found some 400 wet dry sandpaper. So I'm just going to lightly sand the rough spots off of this spoiler. You can hear the difference. Hear that? Hear that? So when I sand it, watch the difference. That can put a lot of, it's very rough. Feel it over here. There's a lot of overspray maybe, I don't know. But you can see I already wore through right here, so I'm going to go back and put some more primer. I'm going to need another coat of primer on this thing. Wipe it down. Okay, here we are, back on the HHR Spoiler project. It's been sitting here for a little while. It's all prepped. I just have to set it out and paint it. I'm going to go over with some alcohol real quick and a degreaser. I don't know if you can tell. There's still some primer coming off, and now I'm seeing it's been sitting in the shop here. So I'm going to clean it up, some degreaser, and then spray it with the paint that I have, wherever it is. That's the primer. That's the paint right there. From Touch Up Direct. Spray it, and then after that, clear it, and then it should match, hopefully perfectly. And I'll put it here, double side tape, on the back. I actually have some quick prep that's, I don't know how many years old. It's supposed to be blue, as I remember. It's clear now. Ooh! Guys, it still smells like alcohol, so it's probably good. It's just the color is out of it. So let me clean this up. Alright, so I have the paint here. So I've been shaking it. I'm just going to test it on, I don't know which way the fan's going. There we go, let's see. Okay. Alright. So the first coat I'm going to put on here is just going to be a light coat just to get it coverage. Okay, I'm gonna let that sit for a little bit. I'll come back. I'm gonna put another light coat on there. I'll put 2 light coats. I'll see if that should probably be good, and I'll come back and I'll do a heavy coat. And then somehow I have to get the underneath. I'll have to flip it over after it's dry, I guess. Actually, I probably should have done that one first. I think I'm gonna let this dry, flip it over, then do the bottom. Because if I mess up this, if I flip it over and it's all nice, and I flip it over and it gets messed up, it's going to be messing up the part you see. I'd rather the part that you don't see get messed up if possible, if I have to mess something up. So I will, I'm going to do that. I'm going to let this dry, flip it over, do the bottom, and then I'll come back to the top. I didn't film it, but pretty much dusted it a couple times. Oh man, say look, it ran. But I got the bottom pretty much done. I might have to touch it up a little bit there. Clear coat will probably really bring out the sparkle in it. But as soon as this is dry, I'll flip it over. You're gonna see this part though. I might let it dry and freaking sand that out and respray it, and then do the clear coat on it. Okay, put a bunch of coats on it. It's drying really dull, which I think, I haven't used this kind of paint before in a can. I've sprayed cars before, and I'm used to, I think I'm in the mentality of, comes out of a spray can, it should come on glossy, but I think after I put the clear coat on, it's gonna get glossy. So what I'm doing now is I'm just dusting it. I think I have to flip it over because I see some gray over here. Just trying to get it, but it's the can's spitting like crazy. I mean, I don't know if you can see it, but it's really rough. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to wet sand it with like 2000 or 3000, and then try a little spot and clear it and see if that makes it fine. I think it's going to be fine, but I might do one more mist coat. I got to see how this dries. If it looks splotchy right now, I don't know if it's going to stay splotchy. But I need to flip it over and get the other side too. Like I can't get up in here and stuff from here. So I'm going to let it dry. I need to wet sand this spot over here anyway. So let it dry. I'll come back and we'll see what happens. All right, here's the spoiler. I wet sanded it. It was a big mistake because there were little high spots from, I guess, the primer. I thought I sanded the primer down. But when I sanded this, the color coat, it sanded down and there's all little primer dots all over it. So I'm running out of paint. This one can is almost empty. So I just put another coat on here, light dusting. I'm gonna flip it over, I'm gonna let it dry for 10 minutes. I'm gonna flip it over, do another light coating over the whole coating on the whole other side, and then later I'm going to come back and do the clear on it. Now it says 15 to 30 minutes before the clear coat, so I have enough time. I'll flip it over, spray it again, and then I'll do the clear coat. Once the clear coat's on there, you need to do the clear coat. As far as what I've done before, need to do the clear coat pretty quickly after you do the paint, so it's not totally dry, and it will really bring out the color. So you can see right now it's really dull, but once I hit that clear coat on there, when I put the water on there, you can see it looks shiny. Once I put the clear coat, it's going to shine it right up. Well, here we go. Just shine a light on it. It'll look a lot better outside. I put one coat of clear on it. So far it looks pretty good. It actually might have too much metallic on it. I don't know. This has a lot of metallic in it too, so anyway, we'll see. That's one coat. Let that dry, and we'll come back and do more. Okay, here we are. Got a couple of clear coats on this thing. It's looking pretty shiny. There's a little mess up spot right here. I don't know if the camera will pick it up. But there's still, I can feel it's not smooth. It's like rough, some rough patches on it, and I could feel like, I don't know if it's dirt. It's just kind of orange peeled a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is I have enough clear. I'm gonna put one more coat of clear on here, and then after that dries, I'm going to wet sand it and then polish it. Wet sanding will get all of the rough edges out. I mean, I don't know if you can see it. It's all crinkly and stuff. Wet sand it, polish it, and then it'll be nice and smooth, just like the rest of the car. I mean, the rest of the car isn't in the best shape, but it's a lot smoother than that thing. The color matches pretty good. And once I looking inside here in the garage, it matches pretty well. I don't know once I put it out in the sun if it'll match, because that's brand new paint. This is paint from 2008. Well, most of it is from 2008. This side was in some kind of accident. It has some paint. I mean, like, see this clear. This is an original factory clear coat. That's chipping off. That car's not in perfect shape. You can see it's repainted here. There's another layer, right? But anyway, I don't know when it was painted. The Carfax was clear on it, so whatever. It's fine. I think it'll match pretty good. Okay, so here's the spoiler. You can see the reflection of the light. It's got a lot of orange peel. It's not that clear. I have a bucket of water here. Bought a bunch of wet dry sandpaper. I think I'm gonna try. So the way the sandpaper works is the higher the number, the finer it is. So this is all really fine stuff. I mean, so there's some 2,000. I thought I had 3,000. So 25. Here's 2,000. Let me show you a comparison. This here. This is 40. It's pretty much got like sand on there. Sand glued to the paper, right? And then you go down to, let's say, 2,000, where it's very, very fine. You can see it, if I put my finger on here, it's sanded off some of my skin. So this is really fine compared to the 80, or the 40. And like I said, the higher the number, the finer it gets, and the less scratches. I don't have to go down to, there's some 3,000. I don't have to go down to 3,000. I could probably sand this to, let's say, like 1,000 or 1,500 and be able to get the scratches out. I'm probably going to start at, I don't know what the roughest I have here. It might be 1,000. The roughest I have is 1,000. I'll sand it with 1,000 first, get it all smooth. I'll show you what happens once you start sanding it, when you start wet sanding it. And then after that, I'll go down to, you know what, I have the 2,000, I'll go down to 2,000. And then I'll buff it out after that. So let's start sanding it. It's gonna make it look worse than it is now, but the final product will be nice. Okay, so I sanded a lot of this with the 1000, and then I have a little rubber, it's actually a wet dry rubber squeegee, 3M. So you wet it, I sanded it, you can see, I just get the water off. All this does is just dries it, right? It gets the water out of the way. So I don't know if you can see, but there's like a lot of shiny spots. Those are the low spots where the sanding didn't get down yet. Over here, I sanded a little bit more. You can see over here, there's a lot less little spots. So I'm gonna sand the other side down to look at like this side with the 1000, and I'm gonna come back with the 2000, and that will get this even smoother. When you look at it and it's sanded and you don't see any of these high spots, any of these shiny little dots, that means that the paint is perfectly smooth. This is why I put an extra coat of clear coat on, was so I can sand it off and get it down to the shiny part. The car actually isn't, I don't know if you can tell, isn't actually 100% smooth either. So I mean, this might even be good if I just came back and just polished that. But I'm going to continue on this side over here, sand this down a little bit more, get a lot more of these little spots out. And I got the edge is very rough, and it's harder to do this because you don't want to, the corners is where you always would wear through, so I need to be careful of that. And then I gotta come in here and sand all this, get all this nice and smooth. Here we go, we sanded it with 1000. I gotta get it in here a little bit more, it looks like. Yeah, it's still a little rough. Looks good there. But I'm gonna come back and hit this with 2000. There's still some imperfections, look at this. But that's alright. I mean, the car's not perfect. Why should the wing be perfect? I'm trying to get it as good as possible. So I'm gonna come back with 2000 and sand it again one more time. I'm just looking on here to see if there's any other really shiny spots, or if I wore through the clear coat. I don't know if you remember, somewhere in the middle here there was a splotch, so that's gone. But there's still little dots and stuff like that, but that will clear up once I polish it. Yeah, see, like in here, it's hard to get in here. I'll sit there with the 2000. If I can do it with 1000, I'm afraid I'm gonna wear through the corners. I just want to show you what I do with the sandpaper. I put it in the water, get it nice and soaked, and then if you have a sponge, a small sponge, you can put the sandpaper around the small sponge. I couldn't find a sponge. I was a little unprepared. I'm just doing what stuff that I have left over. Well, I did buy new sandpaper. But what I do is, if you don't want to put any pressure. You want to just let the sandpaper go and do the work. If you put pressure, you're going to get finger marks, because you have my 3 fingers here, and it will leave a mark. I'm just sanding it softly, I'm not even putting any pressure on it. And you can see, I don't know if you can tell, you can see that this clear coat is getting sanded off. And if you feel it like grabbing, that's a rough spot. I just add a little bit more water and just go nice and smoothly on everything. And see, the corners are the hard parts, because you don't want to wear through the corner. And I'm not doing it, I mean, almost no pressure at all. Alright, so that's what I'm doing. I'm going to continue this with 2000, and we'll see where... Alright, brought it outside. I still see some shiny parts here. I'm just going to leave it. It's on the edge. I accidentally wore through right here, right through the clear coat. So that's not, I'm not happy with that. I don't know how much you'll see that though. But so there's still some dots. Oh, there's an imperfection there. And that imperfection there. I could probably keep sanding it, but I'm afraid I'm gonna go through. So I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. I'm gonna clean it now, and I'm gonna go ahead and polish it. So this is what I'm gonna use. The light medium polishing pad, the white one, with V32 optical grade extreme compound. I'm gonna shake it up, put a couple dots on here. I'll smear that around a little bit. Then I'll just go ahead and slowly buff this thing out. Slowest setting. whatever it is, 1,000. Anyway, I'm gonna go slowly over this, polish it or compound it, and then I'll polish it after. Bring this thing over here in the sun. All right, it's looking a lot better. Now it has all swirl marks from the compounding it. I don't know if you can see them, but I'm gonna hit it with the polish, and that should take all the swirl marks out. This part here, jeez, don't drop it. This part here is pain to try to polish with that pad. The next pad I have is even bigger, so I think what I'm going to do is just polish this by hand. I wore through the clear coat and the paint right there, and there was some blemish right here, because you can see it must have been really a high spot, and you can see the primer right there. So I don't know, it is what it is. It's gonna look fine up there. Actually, you'll see this piece. I could touch it up. Maybe I will touch that up once it's on. It'll be easier to mess with it once it's secured in one place. I still have some paint left. I can just tap it, some spray paint, and then maybe I'll do that over there too. I don't know. We'll see. Let me get the polish, and we'll polish this. Oh, I messed up. I was supposed to use the orange pad to use with the compound. Well, that's maybe why I had a problem. I used the light medium pad, the white one. This is supposed to be for polishing. This is the second step. So I'm gonna go wash this thing out, God, and use this with the polishing compound, which is this stuff here. That could be why I went over the spoiler twice with the white and the rubbing compound. So, and I'm gonna have to wash that off too, but I'm gonna go wash the white one off and use it with this. Oh well, I probably could just, if I use this orange one with the correct compound, I probably would have done one pass. I would have been done. It would have worked fine. But I messed up. Clean that. Use the correct stuff. I don't know what the heck I was thinking. I have a brand new pad. I don't know if it's the right size. Same size? No, it's a bigger size. So, like I said, I'm just going to do the top of that, and I'm going to do the rest by hand. I didn't get that in the middle. I'm going to fix that and go ahead and polish this guy. Took this quick prep. It just takes off the wax and anything on the car, and I wipe this all down over here. I put double-sided tape. I'm only holding this thing on with double-sided tape. You're supposed to put bolts, and then there's clips that are broken off on here. I don't want to drill holes in here. I don't know where the hole's going to be, and everything, you know. The studs are gone anyway. So one of them was gone, so I took the other one out. So I'm just putting a bunch of double-sided tape. I'm going to put it on there, and hopefully that will hold it. I think it should. We'll see what happens if it flies off. Oh well. But I'm just going to double-sided tape. I put more tape than the factory put, so I think it should last. It should be fine. All right, what I'm using is this 3M double-sided tape. It's indoor-outdoor mounting tape. Super heavy duty. I use this on my SER. I put the wing on that, and that thing lasted forever. Okay, well there it is. The spoiler's on. I'm not sure if that's the exact spot where it's supposed to be. Paint color match? I think it's pretty good. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. It's moving around a lot. I'm putting it out here in the sun. Maybe it'll stick a little better. Not 100% sure I like how much it moves. Maybe I do need those 2 bolts in there to hold it. This side looks perfect. I don't know if the other side's off a little bit. Well, this back goes down. But I think the color match is looks pretty good. I tried to get it centered right in here. If I feel it's gonna come off or it's too loose, I'll take it off and I'll figure out how to put 2 bolts in there and screw it in. I don't really want to, but you know, let's check this. This should be fine. And I think right here is where the holes are supposed to be anyway. You know, you pop that off and probably just drill a hole right there. Same on that one. That looks about in the right spot. There you go. This took me a while to get done because painting it, clearing it, getting the time to mess with it. But I don't know, what do you think? I think the SS Spoiler looks okay on there. I think it looks better than that big loop one. Now you have to come back and have to get all this off. The pinstripe is off the rest of the car. Right there. And this whole side, I got it off. And then I just got to go and touch. Really, the whole car probably needs another paint job. Clean it and see if I can just touch up these spots. The hood is really bad though. The hood's got chips all over it. I mean, these are chips. I don't understand. It's just horrible. It's just anytime anything hits it, just chunks of paint comes off. Look at this up here. So I don't know what the heck happened. Maybe a repaint is in the future. I don't know if I would do those cans again. And the cans, I mean this right here, where you get the touch up, and this is the color and the clear. The color base coat went on pretty good. I don't think there was a problem with that. I think the clear coat, because I was shaking it and it was spitting and stuff like that, that messed up some spots. So that might have been a problem. The actual base coat seemed like it was all right. So would I use those again? I don't think so. I probably would just get a regular air gun and spray it regular. Get, you know, base coat, clear coat, and just spray with a regular air gun. I don't know if I would do those cans again. It probably was about the same price if I would have gotten all the stuff and, you know, got like maybe a pint or a quart of that red and then some clear. It probably would have been about the same price. We're still here working on the HHR rear spoiler. I had it on here with just the double-sided tape and it would have flown off. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to drill the holes. I cemented these in and they should be good. I'm going to drill the holes, the 2 holes to hold those in. They should pop out somewhere around in this area, I would suspect. So I'm going to tape off this area right here, put some blue tape where I'm going to be drilling the hole. Hopefully I can mark it and get it in the right spot and get the spoiler on. All right, I have the blue tape on here. Put a little bit of red Loctite on the screws just so I can get a little marking. So there's the mark. There's the mark. I'm betting that I'm going to have to elongate these holes a little bit once I get them drilled, because it's hard to tell where to put the spoiler when it's stood up by, you know, like an inch with these studs there. So I'm going to drill the holes, put it in there and see how it looks, and I might have to adjust a little bit. I mean, the hole here is fairly large. Let's see if that lines up. That doesn't even line up at all. So there's where my spot is, and this is where a cap is. So it doesn't even line up. What the heck? So now I don't know what to do. This is where it's going to go. It's going to come out, drill is going to come out over here. I need to get to the nut, because there's going to be a hole right here. I'm going to have to drill a big hole here, and then a smaller hole. I'm going to have to drill a big hole so I can get the socket and nut on there. Okay, I did it. I drilled a hole in my roof for the spoiler. Or I drilled 2 holes. I did a pilot hole first, and I went all the way through into the inner panel also. I'm gonna see what size it is and see if I can cut this the same size and put one of these plugs in there. after I put the spoiler on and put the nuts on there. So now that I have those holes drilled, let's see if the spoiler goes on here. One hole there, one over there. It's elongated. Still doesn't fit in. It's off a little bit, not 100%. This looks like it's pretty much in the middle. I don't know what it's right along the edge there. This looks like it'll probably be right along the edge. I don't know if this side's up too much. I have to wait until I can get it down. But it won't go in. I have to make this hole go over. This hole's in the wrong spot. It should be over a little bit. I'm just gonna get a file. I think that'll work, and just file a little bit over this way. The spoiler set up, see if it looks right, and then after that I'm gonna take the tape off, clean it all up. I'm gonna put more double-sided tape on here. I took some double-sided tape over here off. I'm probably gonna double it up because it's right level with this, so I want it to be higher so I can smush it on there. Hopefully this isn't a problem. It might be. I might have to grind this down a little bit. This is a JB Weld, and this one is not a problem. I was able to just melt that in. Well, the spoiler is finally on. This is like the longest video that I had to record. Not time-wise, but how long it took me to get this thing done. So I'll show you underneath here. I drilled a hole here. I drilled it a little bit too close. It should have been moved over to the left a little bit. I can get to the bolts. You can see there with no problem, but it's hitting. I'm assuming there's a bracket here for the to keep the hatch on, and I hit it right here. So it should have been shifted over a little bit. Same thing over here. So the hole got a little messed up. But I got it on. So I'm gonna take these things here. These are the original ones that go in the hole. I think what the deal is, if you had a LT spoiler, because I took these off when I went to the junkyard, the LT spoiler probably goes right here. And they had these holes pre-cut. Then if you had an HHR SS, they had something else over here. So I think these will, I don't know, that one doesn't fit. I don't know. I gotta get something to plug it up. I'm also gonna clear coat this right here. Anyway. I scraped the metal up. I just want to make it look nice. So here's the wing on the back. I doubled up the double-sided tape. So I'm using this tape here, and see how thin it is. The tape that used to be on here was a lot thicker. I think more spongy. So I doubled up. I just put 2 layers of this tape on there, and from here you can't tell. So let's see what, this is still up higher than I like it to be. Now you can hear it. Maybe I'll get something heavy and stick it on there and let it, hopefully maybe that'll stay. Let's see the other side. This side is down a little bit better. But I think I got the fitment okay. There's about the same amount of gap on either side here around the squirter. It's pretty much lined up on this side and lined up on this side. I think it looks okay. It seems alright. I just gotta clean it up. I got some handprints on here and scuffs and stuff. But there you go. That's the spoiler on the, how to drill a couple of holes. Like I said, I don't like how this is sticking up. I'll see if I can fix that later. Get something heavy, stick it on there. I don't know. But that's it, finally. And I think the color actually kind of matches. And it's all from these Touch Up Direct. I just got the color code. And remember, so I remember I started, primed it, painted it. I used this whole can on the spoiler, painted it a couple times, and then clear. I still have some clear left. But anyway, that's it. I want to thank you for watching. I'm happy I finally got this done. So the other thing I didn't show was I put a little silicone around the bolt hole, and then I put that in there. This way, if water comes in, I'm hoping it will seal it and won't go inside the vehicle. It'll just come here. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know how good that the tape is, but I have the 2 bolts on either side, so that's going to hold it there. All right, well, thanks a lot for watching. Hopefully it was enjoyable. Maybe you learned something. Don't screw up like I did the first time with the compound on the polishing cloth. That wasted some time and probably put more scratches than I should have. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching. If you want to see more of these videos, hit the subscribe button. If you want to be notified, hit the notification bell, and you'll be notified when more videos, I put more videos up. And hit the like button. If you have any questions or anything, put them down in the comments below, and I will answer them. And remember, I'm giving away that handy tool, so go ahead and subscribe. When I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to give away that tool to randomly one of the 1,000 subscribers in there. So go ahead and subscribe, and you'll be put into the list of people that will be eligible to win that tool. Alrighty, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. See ya.